Hello, dreamers. So, have you ever experienced sleep paralysis? Well, I'm going to go over what sleep paralysis is, who is affected by it, what do you experience when you are in the state of sleep paralysis, and what I've learned, which is going to blow your mind. Okay? So, what is sleep paralysis? Sleep paralysis is a temporary inability to move or speak while falling asleep or upon awakening. Okay? So, when you're asleep or when you're falling asleep, you kind of feel like you're paralyzed, right? You can't move. Sometimes you can't breathe, or sometimes you feel as if your breathing is obstructed by a blanket or a pillow. It's just a very uncomfortable state, in which makes you panic as soon as you realize that you are in that state. So once you feel like you're paralyzed, you start to panic like, oh my goodness, no, what? You're trying to get out of it, right? Luckily for me, my husband always wakes me up like, are you okay, babe? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay, thank you, right? So yes, definitely. Who is affected by it? Dreamers, of course. A lot of people who have vivid, dreams, they are really affected by sleep paralysis. Some people often say that prophets are heavily affected by sleep paralysis, okay? Empaths, people that are very sensitive. People that are sensitive, they pick up on things in their environment, and they're more prone to going through this state of being, Pretty much anybody can be affected by sleep paralysis, no matter the age. I don't know the youngest case, but I remember as a child experiencing sleep paralysis, okay? And also as a child, I remember my mom experiencing sleep paralysis. So this may be a genetic disorder, okay? Keep that in mind. So what do you do when you experience, or what do you experience when you are in a state of paralysis? You feel paralyzed, of course. You definitely start to question things around you. But keep in mind, you're very conscious in this state. So you're asleep, but you're conscious. Like how you lucid dream and you're conscious. You're sleeping and you're conscious in that way, right? So you know what's going on, right? You feel paralyzed, of course, sleep paralysis. You feel as if you can't move your arms, your legs, your neck, nothing. Only thing you possibly can move is your eyes, to see around you. And it's weird because you not only, if you're laying this way, you not only can see this way, you can see that way as well. You can see 360. Like, it heightens your senses when you're in that state. Keep that in mind, okay? You experience hallucinations, or what is perceived to be hallucinations. While in sleep paralysis, I've experienced the Hat Man. I've experienced demons. I've experienced spirits. I've experienced a lot of different energies in that state. You also hear things, you hear music, old-timey music. You can hear people around you. You can hear people in other rooms. You could possibly even hear people in the next apartment over if you're in an apartment. Or, that's in your range. You can hear it. So it's a heightened sense of perception. Keep that in mind. People often associate this with trauma. It can be sometimes traumatizing. Like, I knew someone that, experienced sleep paralysis, and they had kind of created this OCD type of behavior where they no longer sleep on their backs. They don't want to sleep with their back turned against the door. They're trying to accommodate themselves so that they won't experience it, because they remember experiencing it that way. They remember experiencing it in that type of situation in which they're trying to avoid to do now. So in order to avoid it, now they're not sleeping on their backs. You know what I mean? Because they're afraid that they may go into a state of sleep paralysis. Okay? Now, let's get to the good part. What I've learned. You guys, sleep paralysis is not a bad thing. Sleep paralysis is a way for you to astral project. Let me repeat that. Sleep paralysis is a way for you to astral project. Let me repeat that. Sleep paralysis is a way for you to astral project. Now, I remember reading this, right? And I'm telling you, before 2020, let's get that straight. Before 2020, I hated sleep paralysis. I'm like, no, I don't want to experience sleep paralysis. You know, I hate it. Right? And I look forward to my husband waking me up. Now I'm like, don't wake me up. Right? Now I look forward to experiencing sleep paralysis because now I know I can astral project. So how I learned. So I read this, well, I think I watched a video about, sleep paralysis I read an article about sleep paralysis and how you can astral project. And I was like, what? No, you can't, right? Because I'm a lucid dreamer. I lucid dream all the time, right? I'm like, astral project? No, you can't, right? You can't do that. Wrong. You can do that. So I told my husband, I said, if I'm in sleep paralysis, don't wake me up, right? So I went in there immediately, right? Well, not immediately. This was days, weeks later, right? So I went in and I immediately start to panic, like, oh man, I'm in sleep paralysis. No, not again. Then I remember, like, wait, I can astral project. Let me try it, right? So I immediately calmed down because now I'm not afraid of this state of being. I'm not afraid of it. So what I did was, I said, okay, I can astral project. Like, how do I do it? And I said, well, try and lift out of your body. So I'm like, trying to lift, like, oh. And me trying to lift out my body woke me up out of sleep paralysis. I'm like, no, I didn't want to wake up. So I woke up. And then, you know how when you experience sleep paralysis, like, and you're in that deep, deep sleep, you're very drowsy. I don't know. It's just like you're very drowsy. So it's easy for you to fall right back into it for some. So if you know what I'm talking about, right? You're very drowsy. You easily fall back into it. So I woke up and I fell right back into it. But this time I was already there and I already knew what I was doing. And so I lifted out my body and I was like, whoa, I'm doing it. I'm like, what I'm going to do? I went to the front door, opened the front door. I was like, I'm going to go visit the neighbors. I went downstairs with the neighbors and I seen the kids and stuff like that. Like, whoa, this is deep, right? So that was the first time I realized that I can do, I can astral project. I did it one other time after that. Now, fast forward it to today. My husband's at work. I'm off work. I'm sleeping, right? And then I go into sleep paralysis. I was like, dang, here we go again with the sleep paralysis. And then I was like, no, I can astral project, right? So I'm like, ooh, it's easy. I'm telling you, once you know, it's easy. I just, went out my window. Like, and I'm all outside. I'm like, whoa, this is different. The only thing I noticed about astral projection is it's different from lucid dreaming. Or I haven't experienced it like I experienced lucid dreaming. So with lucid dreaming, I'm able to travel to different worlds, planets. I can travel through portals. I can travel to the past, the future, the present. I can, it's no time with lucid dreaming, right? With astral projection, I see that I'm going outside of my window and I'm experiencing the here and the now, right? So I'm trying to fly and it was kind of harder for me to fly. I feel like it's a different state than lucid dreaming. It's totally different from lucid dreaming, like totally different. At first I thought astral projection and lucid dreaming was pretty much the same. Once I start to navigate, I may change my viewpoint on it, but as of now, it's like it's not. It's kind of different to navigate with than lucid dreaming. Because lucid dreaming, I've perfected it. Like, I can jump through a little mirror, going to another portal, as long as I know where my destination is, where I'm going to be on the other side, okay? So with astral projection, it's different. It's different. It's really, really different. So keep in mind, when I astral projected today, it went by so fast. I was like, no, it's over. I woke up. But luckily, I went back to sleep because I was in that energy state. Like, whew. And I was like, yes. So I jumped on my body again. This time I'm exploring, trying to see. I said, you know what? Last time I tried to fly, this time I'm going to walk. Because, I'm not about to be trying to fly and using up all my energy. And now it makes the dream or the state go by really fast, right? So I'm walking and I'm just seeing everyone. I don't know what I'm looking for. I didn't know what to do, That's another thing. Even with lucid dreaming or astral projection, have a plan. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? That is key. What do you want to see? What do you want to learn? You got to know that beforehand, because when you get in these states, it's like, oh man, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So you're doing a bunch of nothing, But I learned, like, if I, like, for instance, before I lucid dream, I'll say, you know what? I want to go visit my ancestors. So when I get into that lucid state, I'll be like, I'm going to visit my ancestors. I already know beforehand. Sometimes I have to think, like, what did I say I was going to do? What did I say? I forgot. But I'll remember. So always have a plan for what you're going to do before you do it. Keep that in mind. But yeah, so back to the astral projection. So I start walking around, I'm seeing different stuff, different people, all types of people, people were, it was this one person when I was astral, that noticed me and was like kind of following me, kind of looking like, who is that? Like, who are you? And I looked and they kind of went behind something. And I was like, what? So I kept walking and I seen him again peeking. But then I woke up, but I wasn't as tired. You get what I mean? I wasn't as tired, so I wasn't able to fall right back into it. I was like, dang. But I can't wait to astral project again. I can't wait to experience sleep paralysis so I can astral project again. Honestly, I can't. That way I can, have a plan for the next time. Because it's good to have a plan, you guys. It's good to have a plan. I'm telling you, dreamers, have a plan. It helps you. Sleep paralysis has always been like this burdensome type of thing, but now I feel like I'm free of it. I'm not scared to go to sleep and experience sleep paralysis. Not that I ever really was, because I never knew when it was going to come. So I wasn't really afraid. It came every so often. But now I'm like, I want to experience it because it's definitely a different state. And I think people that experience sleep paralysis, you experience lucid dreams too. And if you experience lucid dreams too, then have a plan before you go into your dream. That way you know what you want to do, okay? Keep that in mind. Dreamers, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope this made sense. Remember, don't be afraid when you're experiencing sleep paralysis anymore. Don't be afraid no more. There's nothing to be afraid of. You can astral project, literally. So as soon as you realize you're in that state, like, oh, here we go again, you could be like, you know what, I'm going to astral project. Let me up on my body. Like, it's just literally like you doing that. You forcing yourself out. Like, you're jumping out of your body. And you're like, out. Instantly. Like, boom, boom. Like, literally, boom, boom. Like, why didn't I know this before? Why was I staying there in that state, in that sleep paralysis state, and just laying there and suffering? Why? Why was I ever suffering through sleep paralysis? Why? I don't know. People, I oftentimes think that, people, this type of stuff needs to be passed on. More people need to know about this type of stuff. You don't have to experience sleep paralysis anymore. Well, you experience it, but you don't have to suffer through it, okay? You do not have to suffer through it anymore. That is a blessing. I oftentimes think that oracles are people that experience sleep paralysis and lucid dreaming. That's how they knew things. A lot of people that, invent a lot of things, they say they do so through their dreams. Utilize it. I know I'm going to. I thank you all for watching. And until next time, dreamers, peace.